what's going on. Making this video to try to request some support, and also to inform people and let people know the way I'm handling things and how I was advised to handle things through a lot of different avenues, such as AI or other lawyers that I've spoken to in the past. But just to kind of remind everybody that we also have, sort of like you're empowered. You have power over yourself, and so when you're doing things, make sure you're doing them right. But anyway, I'm trying to make this because I had a backpack that was removed from me the day I was arrested from work, and it contained over $3,000 of electronic equipment, and that I haven't gotten back. And so I was trying to show how I've attempted to contact Hawthorne PD.
Trying to record this phone call because I'm trying to understand who I'm speaking to and where my property might be. I know I just called you guys and I asked you, but I just want to go again, just make sure, because I'm getting a lot of, the runaround basically. So my name is Christian Bautista Mejia. I was arrested on Friday. I was given everything except that I had on my person, except for a slingshot backpack that is kind of like camo, like urban camo, black and gray. It was ripped by the officer Kang, who basically pulled it off my back, and I'm just trying to recover it or find out where it's at. I keep getting told that it's either in property or in jail, and to come back tomorrow and speak to the supervisor and see if they can check the cameras. And so I was just wondering who I'm speaking with right now, and to see if you guys can check again. It says cage next to the paper, so maybe it's in some sort of cage, and also why I can't just check the surveillance today.
Okay, so this is Lindberg. I work property and evidence.
Thank you,
Lindberg.
Lindberg.
I told you, the only thing I have for you is your meth pipe and your knife that you're not getting back right now.
Right, okay.
Your bag would have been left in the jail. Now, if you're saying your paperwork says cage, the jailer who I referred you to called me and said you received your bag when you got released, correct?
It was a black trash bag, not the slingshot bag that I'm missing, basically. So I got everything but that. I mean, I know I had a lot of things on me, and I do apologize for that. But again, I was not being asked to be arrested, especially when the officer that was called was the one instigating and escalating everything. I was at work, so my thing is just that, like, I'm trying to be cool with you guys here. I'm trying to be cooperative, but the thing is, you guys are telling me that I was told I was given to me. There was a black trash bag, right? And do you understand how confusing it can be when you're telling me if I got a bag? I did get a bag, but it was with all my other property, not the bag that I'm talking about.
Okay, so what the jailer told you was your next step is to contact the jail supervisor and explain to him that you didn't receive back your property. And the jail supervisor will go through the video and look at exactly what you left with, and then that will determine whether we still have it or you were given it back. And
I was asking why that couldn't be done today, and I'm not sure why that can't be done today, because I was just there.
The jail supervisor is probably not available right now.
Okay, gotcha. Right. All right. I'll go ahead and call, I guess, because this was jail, or this is property, you said, right? So I'm gonna call the other one, which is who? Jail?
The jail, yes.
Thank you.
Ask for the supervisor, and if they don't answer, leave a message and tell them what's going on, and then they will look into it and find out, what
Thank you, Lindberg. All right, man. I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna call them back, man. Thank you.
So then I called the jail again. That's this one.
You guys know I am recording the phone call because of how rude and also kind of condescending and back and forth a lot of this is. My name is Christian Bautista.
Okay.
I was arrested on Friday.
I'm talking to you. What's this regarding?
This is regarding my property, my bag, a backpack. There was a camo slingshot bag that's like black and white, urban camo. Yes, it is, sir. And I'm recording the call just because, again, I want to make sure I'm speaking.
Okay, let me speak to you, Ms. Batista.
Who is this?
I spoke to you earlier, and I told you just come talk to the supervisor.
Who is this? Who am I speaking to right now?
You're speaking to Mr. Paulo.
Okay, Mr. Paulo. Thank you. Thank you, Paulo Sala. Okay, thank you.
I'm the one that came out and spoke to you earlier. I told you.
Got it. I got a little confused because I recognized your voice, but then someone else told me that it wasn't them, or it wasn't you, and I assumed it was you.
No. I did my due diligence as to go look for it physically. It wasn't there. You told me that they gave you a bag. The only way we can get down to it is by you coming and talking to the supervisor so they can roll the tape.
Right. And I was wondering why that
videotape, they're gonna show whether a bag was handed to you or not.
Correct.
And they can confirm it from there.
Okay.
And then from there, you can make your decision what you want to do, whether it's file a claim, talk to the supervisor, and go from there.
Okay, got it. And I was wondering why that couldn't be done today, because I was told on Saturday when I got released. When I got released on Saturday, the lady that can I finish? So the lady that I spoke to on Saturday when I got released told me to call you guys, or to come back and call you guys on Monday, because you guys were closed on Saturday apparently. And so I came back and I went in person on Monday, you know, and I'm asking, and again I'm just trying to like get all of this down so that I'm make sure I know. I'm sorry.
Today is Monday.
Correct.
Today
that's what I'm saying.
Monday.
That's what I'm saying. I was told to come back today, so now I'm wondering why I'm getting told to come back again tomorrow when I was told to come back today. And I'm just trying to address everything so that I know who I'm talking to, so that everything gets recorded and I can have, you know, memory of everything.
Would you like my serial badge number too?
No. I'm just wondering why it couldn't be done today, because I was told to come back today.
Maybe the supervisor doesn't work on Mondays.
Oh, I see it. Gotcha. Thank you so much for that information.
Maybe she told you that maybe because they thought maybe they can find it.
Right, me too.
Unfortunately, I went back there to the cage where it indicates that your bag should be at.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in there.
Got it, thank you.
Look, the only thing for you to do is to
call
to the
tomorrow.
supervisor.
Gotcha. All right, thank you, man. I appreciate. See how much different that was, and I do appreciate you being a lot more polite now that the call was being recorded.
No,
but just know that like I wasn't. I know I understand, but it's like I felt like I was being, you know, given the runaround and also being treated a little bit more rudely earlier.
I'm not here to do that.
I'm just trying to
move forward.
I'm just trying to, right, exactly, me too, and I'm just trying to address it all, but also, you know, I'm not trying to like get anybody scolded or trouble or anything. I'm just trying to find my stuff, bro, because it's really important to me, and I know that you guys see things from a different perspective, and you guys look at all criminals probably the same way. But the thing is that I'm also human, and I'm just trying to acquire all my property that I was arrested with, and because it was already a negative experience to begin with, because you guys don't. I mean, it affected my life. It's affecting my life, you know. And so I just want to let you guys know that you guys should be a little bit more cordial and mindful of the people how you guys talk to them. Thank you, though.
Okay,
it was a big difference. It was a big difference. You know, you're still trying to talk over me.
We only inventory what was brought into the jail.
See, and so I think I hung up that conversation because he was over here talking about like, oh, let me speak to you, and then he basically was being extremely rude. And previously, before I had recorded the call, he was just laughing or, you know, being rude and disrespectful. And so that's why I mentioned everything that I mentioned to him. But then when he started like talking over me, I'm like, okay, they already told me what to do. I don't need to speak to him anymore. But the fact that he had a whole different demeanor said a lot. And so basically they just been giving me the runaround, because then I came the following day like they told me to, and I asked the front desk officer if I could see a supervisor or a watch commander, and I was told that, you know, they were busy, and I asked when they would be available. She said, oh, we don't know, they're constantly in and out. And so my whole thing is that like I've been trying to, you know, get my stuff back. And so what happened was that I basically told Danny, oh shit, maybe I had some recordings there with Danny. I tried to tell Danny like, yo, try to, you know, the same way that you got that that police officer to come and arrest me, why don't you call him personally and ask him to try to help me recover my stuff, you know, because he was already trying to negotiate stuff with me, and I was just like, yo, man, I'm not having it, because when I went to go pick up my check, actually we'll start there. When I went to go pick up my check, he basically he did, you know, this where he basically had me under the impression that he wanted me to sign his check.
Being told that I got terminated, and I'm also being told I need to document this because this is confusing. So right now I'm being asked to sign my check. I'm also being told that I got terminated, and I'm also being told that they're gonna get in contact with a lawyer. These are you're not gonna let me take a video of the time cards, Danny? Okay, and then the checks that you were trying to give me, so I could just get everything documented, please, for everything, for the same reasons you were saying, everything. I cannot sign this check because they are not the amount that was told to me I would be paid at regular hours, and instead the check is coming out to much less than what they told me. I'm also requesting that he gives me the documents of all my past 3 years working here as well, because the police officer that he called ripped my backpack, and now my backpack cannot be found, and all my batteries and everything that I need to charge my phone have been lost so far. and I have had no luck with the Hawthorne Police Department returning all my property to me, the way that they took it. And all of this was escalated for simply raising issues that are reason. If somebody can't organize themselves to charge the right things, I can't trust that these checks are being written the right way. And I don't mean, but if the person in charge is less than adequate to write this stuff, it's still being handwritten, it's unprofessional, and I can't accept that. I don't get it. I mean, I don't know.
Notice how you made a mistake right there.
It's not at the right amount. So I'm just gonna wait.
And he tries to initiate it after making a mistake, which has been a problem before. That right there. My bank is not going to accept some shit like that, right? Look, they went from 431 and he dropped it down to 339.58, right? And then I don't know what this other check at the bottom is. I don't get why he wanted me to sign both. And the fact that the bottom one said, and look, this one doesn't even have a date. This one says February and left the date blank. And this one has February, what is that? 5 or 1 or second, and maybe he wrote his 2's backwards. I mean, I don't know. See, this is like part of the issues that I always have, right? And in the past, when he's done stuff like this, my bank wouldn't accept it. And so I didn't want to sign anything, especially because he was trying to give me that EDD paperwork instead of giving me the letter in writing as to why exactly he fired me or terminated me. And so I was asking for all that.
Because it's not at the right amount. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna wait. I'm also gonna seek legal counsel, I guess, now, because I've been terminated and there's no explanation. I have no letter in writing, anything that has my termination letter or the reason why he's terminating me. And so I'm sorry, Danny. I appreciate you making an effort, but just finished speaking to the front desk after.
Oh, this was the day after I went to.
Being arrested on Friday. I had a slingshot backpack that was kind of like black and gray camo, or like urban camo kind of. I was held for the night, and when I was released in the morning, I tried to check the black trash bag that they gave me, and the black trash bag only had all the other stuff that was on my person, but nothing that was nothing that was in my backpack, basically, and not my backpack. And so I just went in, or better yet, after I got released, I checked the black bag, nothing there, and then I came to the front desk and asked or told them that basically I was still missing a bag, and I was told I was released on Saturday, so they told me that the property people were going to be closed until Monday. So I come back yesterday, which was Monday, and nothing. They told me to basically that they couldn't find it, not in jail, not in property, so they told me to come back today, which is Tuesday, to ask for the property supervisor or the watch commander. And I've asked for that, and they told me that they are busy and that there's no way to tell when they'll be free or available, that they're in and out. And so I just wanted to document this, because this is currently the whole thing is just that they're always giving me the runaround, and I've already had negative experiences with this department. They are very rude, disrespectful, condescending, and dismissive to everything. I don't think that they really care about people that they are basically trying to serve or pretending to serve. And so I feel very disappointed. I'm homeless. I'm also, I rely on that bag because I have batteries and my chargers, my phone chargers, and my batteries, external batteries. And so my tablet, I had a clean card that I just recently got money on. I had some work documents in there, my hours and records and stuff that I needed. I had what is it? I think I already said a tablet. I had also my what is it called? The flipper device that I had. I also had what else did I have in there? But I had quite a few stuff, and I'm trying to memorize it all right now, but it's just so hard because everything that happened was not supposed to happen, and it was all escalated over an officer trying to coach my boss on how to handle the situation, and escalate it just to have me arrested. And it is really unfair and a huge setback for somebody in my situation. And so it's currently 4:29 p.m. and it is Tuesday, February 3rd, and no sign of my bag, my slingshot backpack, and no sign of interest, better yet, of these officers or anybody in this department really trying to be helpful about getting my stuff back. So yeah, Hawthorne Department, Police Department. Gives a very nice building, but a very dirty experience, I guess. Very disappointing.
And so, with that said, I basically, Danny started, messaging me stuff, and I was messaging back and forth with Danny regarding everything. He started trying to, offer me stuff like, just talking legally, like, all this crazy stuff that, like, just basically, even before that, when he was making his decision, right? Because to me, a decision is like, okay, you're gonna give me in writing why you basically are choosing to decide whatever you're choosing to decide. But basically, like, I would ask him right here. I think I was asking him for the video of Chapina Shorty. This was way back when, in October, of her trying to kill me or whatever, or stab me or something like that, which is why I had that dagger that they removed from me and gave me a felony for. And so anyway, then I had like bike troubles or something like that, so I was probably late that day. But anyway, then I asked them for another day. They had police arrest me outside of the store for no reason. Which he told me that all of a sudden they don't save the video for that long, so it wasn't available according to him. Even though I needed it to show proof that I wasn't doing anything, that I was searched improperly or illegally. But he obviously, according to him, coincidentally, didn't save, or he couldn't pull it up or whatever. Even though I've seen in the past where somebody will have like a car accident, and then a week later he'll give him the footage. So I don't know. He tried to tell me that after a week it deletes or some shit. But then we have here. This was the most recent stuff, right? So when I told him, this was after a message that I sent to the group, which was basically to the group. It was this. To the group, it was this. After the whole situation, basically, I was following up to Joe, who said he was going to be running late, 45 minutes. I said, copy, I got you. And then I was just making a joke, BMW workforce. I said, nah, you got me, I got you. And then right after I sent this message, the big boss, right, Danny's dad, comes in and starts telling us to close. So notice that it's 5:15. My shift ends at 5:30. So he starts telling me to close, but without telling me or ever confirming that he didn't want me to cover my coworker. And I also didn't want to leave the boss there alone because he was going to lose business. They was going to close the store, and I felt like it was not anything to do with the accident, that he was trying to excuse it by and say that because the accident, because somebody had gotten killed up the street, that's why it was. And so after I got arrested, right, because Danny escalated, or the officer escalated Danny and all this stuff, so I was basically just writing to them that I wasn't quitting, or basically trying to quit, that I was ready to work my shift. And so after I sent him this good morning text about my shift and that I'd be willing to work the next day, and that I wanted to use that personal day off, but that I would be ready to work again, Danny sends me this that message about excuse me, sorry, about me, about getting my message, and then saying that he said he needed some time to think about it before letting me know. So basically he goes right here, where is it at? Because I tried to let him know everything, man. I wasn't having it. I felt like it was extremely unfair. But basically he says, I reviewed your message. We need some time to think, or to make a decision regarding your employment. You do not need to come to work during this decision-making period. However, we will continue to pay you according to your existing schedule until a decision is made. We will contact you as soon as the decision is finalized. Thank you. And he never contacted me to tell me the decision was finalized. He never confirmed that it was anything finalized. He just told me to come pick up my check. And on my last check is what I just showed you guys about him writing final check, trying to make it as if like he was basically wanted me to sign off as a final check and agree that I would be terminated, but without providing me a reason in writing why that was. And so I basically told him, I was like, look, thank you for your message. I understand that you're placing me on leave during your decision-making period. I was like, and that I should not come to work, and that you will continue to pay me according to the current 40-hour weekly schedule until a decision is made. I want to be clear that I'm not resigning or abandoning my job, and I will remain willing to work my full schedule and shifts once you allow me to return. My expectation is that my pay during this period will be at the correct amount, at the correct minimum wage for our location. consistent with the laws and county information that I had provided. Because for the longest, since a while back, I was trying to explain to him that because even though they said that we were a part of Hawthorne, which I did find out is true and everything, I was trying to tell him that we were actually, even though we're part of Hawthorne, which is incorporated, I found this government website page that says that Hawthorne was also unincorporated. And if that's the case, and kind of like Lennox, right? Because Lennox is also unincorporated, which you can also find on this list. Where's Lennox at? Right there, bam, right? And so because it's listed as both incorporated and unincorporated, there's the argument that whenever there's a conflict between two minimum wages, the employer is supposed to reward or give you the higher of the two that benefits the employee. And so basically, I kept explaining that to him. As you know, everything leading up to this started with my complaints to you and your father about underpayment, sick pay, legal issues at the store, and with my attempt on Tuesday with you, and on Friday with his dad, to basically talk about everything, how we're charging stuff, how we basically could try to do things better. And his dad, who ended up yelling at me and even pushing me at some point, and then Danny gets there, who calls the police officer, especially the fact that he called another Korean police officer and called him at his personal line, not 911 or the non-emergency hotline. He called him directly. And so I told him, I was like, my goal has always been my goal has always been to help correct problems, not threaten you or the business, because my situation and what I've already reported to the labor commissioner, which is the sick pay that he wasn't giving us, any reduction in my hours or pay after this leave would feel like further punishment for raising these issues. So please also let me know approximately how long you expect this decision period to take. Right? And because he didn't reply. So then I sent him more links. I told him more where he can find all this information about how much unincorporated parts of LA gets paid. And so right here, the minimum wage for workers in unincorporated areas is supposed to be $17.81, which in the beginning they were paying us at the state, which is $16. And although Hawthorne does also agree to basically pay whatever the state was stating is their minimum wage, they also didn't know that there was a conflict where Hawthorne shows up as both unincorporated and incorporated. And so when there's a conflict of the two, they're supposed to award you the one that's higher and benefits the employee. And so I sent him all of that, right? In the beginning, when I was making this argument, he was telling me that I was arguing with him and that basically that's not what it was, and that he had to ask the CPA. And I'm like, bro, why you gotta ask the CPA? I'm giving it to you right here directly, so you could just look at the government website. And so, furthermore, let me stay quiet because I don't know what the sirens are about. Sometimes it could be me. Okay, they passed. So anyway, so I show him right here the part about the higher minimum wage, right? So it's like, what is the difference between the local and state federal minimum wage? Most employers in California are subject to both federal and state minimum wage laws. Also, local entities, cities, and counties are allowed to enact minimum wage rates, and several cities have recently adopted ordinances which establish higher minimum wage rate for employees working within the local jurisdiction. See the list of county minimum wages in California, and so that's what that list that I found that was basically showing Hawthorne as incorporated and unincorporated. And so maintained by the UC Berkeley, whatever, the effect of multiple coverage, different government sources, when there are conflicting requirements in the law, right, like what I showed, the employer must follow the stricter standard that is one that most beneficial to the employee. Since California's current law requires a higher minimum wage rate than does the federal law, all employers in California who are subject to both laws must pay the state minimum wage rate unless their employees are exempt under California law. Similarly, the local entity, city, or county has adopted a higher minimum wage. So basically, everything I was trying to explain to him, right? Even though he argued with me and tried to tell me that wasn't true, so I was just sending all of this to him, right? And so I gave him the link to that particular screenshot that I took. And so I continued by telling him, I was like, yo, none of this was about trying to hurt you as a business. I risk concerns because I care about everyone who works there, shops there, and I've been saying this for the longest. I don't know why. I just never was listened to. I was like, so I wish the response had been, let's look into this, instead of having me removed, saying something like, we'll work on it tomorrow or fix it next week or something, but never, none of that. He would just listen to me and then the following day just kind of ignore it, right? And the reason I started kind of getting really I got to focus on this was because on that Tuesday before when this happened, whatever, my cat got injured. I took her to work, and I saw that they were bothered by that. So come Wednesday, I tried to leave my cat behind because I didn't want to bother them or affect my work. And I don't know, just the way that they were looking at me. But then the following day, because my cat went missing, that following day on Thursday, after Wednesday that she went missing on that Thursday, he saw that I was by the store. It was my day off, and I was just kind of sad because I've been looking for her and couldn't find her. And then I just kind of felt like he was mocking me when I was talking to my coworker. And at one point, he seemed like all happy. When on Wednesday when I worked with him, he seemed all serious. But then all of a sudden, I see that he's kind of happy. And he always had this tendency of whenever some stuff is going bad for me, he kind of like smiles or he starts being in a good mood all of a sudden. So I'm just kind of like, this fool, is he really like trying to mock me because he knows that my cat's missing and that I'm sad? So I told myself, in order to not be hurt about the cat, that the cat went missing, found a better home, and I just got to focus on all of this stuff because otherwise he's not gonna, he don't care. He's basically making fun of me right now. So I started focusing on that, right? So I sent him all of this because I was trying to show him also every single time that something has happened. I told him,
as a perfect point that I was trying to prove, right? Watch how when I leave,
when basically like the officer and they were trying to get me out, right? Like some stuff I already shared already, so I don't think I gotta repeat it. But basically they're like over here talking in their language.
Whatever was going on out there, the store was closed because their wolf was never closed, indifferently to me, and they're talking in their language, which I don't understand. But they're the best. Harassment at that. Look at that. He feels confident. He's talking like that because he's got the officer next to him on his side. What you're breaking the law with? I'm trying to get my stuff, but you guys don't understand. Look, I don't even know why I'm raising my voice. He's nobody. I shouldn't even raise my voice to him. He's done nothing to do with this. So let me concentrate, let me focus, and just be calm because what they're doing is just adding more to the reason why they are probably going to get... Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Audited is what I tried to say, but I forgot the word.
Danny, can you start charging properly for stuff? Can you stop ignoring what you're breaking the law with? I'm trying to help you guys out, and you don't care. Why don't you care? Why don't you care that instead of all this time we could have been changing the registers to charge the proper sales tax for a bag, not as grocery? It's not a grocery. Why don't you do the things that like you could do to make the business better? I'm going, Danny. I'm getting my stuff together, but why do you behave this way? Why do you gotta call police? No. Wait.
My water bottle was in
I listen, Danny. I listen. That's the thing. I listen more than anything. I listen more than you do. See? See, look. See? That's harassment right there. That's harassment at the best. Harassment at that. Look at that. He feels confident. He's talking like that because he's got the officer next to him on his side. See, and you heard him say, yeah. You see how he acts. You see how the other officer, too, who I'm going to complain about. What is your badge number, sir? Or Kang? I guess his name is Kang. It's fine. All I need is Kang. But see how they behave. See how it's also discrimination. Look, possibly because he's the same. I'm sure they're probably the same race, but they're all acting differently to me, and they're talking in their language, which I don't understand. But they're freely talking in their language. I don't know what they're saying.
Like he noticed that.
But I don't think it's professional from the officer to be here to be talking probably behind my back too about whatever it is in their language. I don't know what they're saying, and I am trying to leave. But see, now we know the store was never closed because of whatever was going on out there. The store was closed because they're willfully trying to retaliate against me, which is all I'm trying to document. And I have every right to document that. They don't want me to go to jail. Okay, let's go to jail.
He's coaching him.
You hear that? You see how am I trespassing when I'm on the clock? I'm on the clock. How am I trespassing? I'm an employee here, but I'm unemployed here. How am I gonna? Okay, but I'm an employee here. So how am I trespassing? How am I trespassing if I'm an employee here? That makes no sense. It makes no sense.
So I sent him this off because I wanted him to see what led up to that point. And the fact that he wasn't there for the previous,
All right, so
I was just talking to his dad.
It's necessary to record this because it is very strange behavior. See, right now there was an accident on the street, right? But customers are still coming in, and the boss is choosing to close the store because of whatever happened down the street, as if that's going to affect us in any way. It's not. Customers are still walking. Neighbors that live nearby, they're still walking up to us, so they're still coming by. And right now he wants to choose to close the door. He goes and he locks the door to the entry of the building. I'm trying to speak to him and address some other stuff, and he goes and he closes the door on me, the one that's inside for the booth. And I'm asking him why. Why do you got to close his door when the outside door is closed? So that goes to show proof that it wasn't because he's worried about someone coming in or anything. He's doing it to specifically disrespect me and close the door in my face when I'm trying to talk to him about certain things and why exactly is he making himself lose money right now under the excuse that it's because
the accident or whatever, that somebody died up the street, but that had nothing to do with it. So I sent all of this to Danny, and I'm just explaining to him everything that I basically was recording. And at no point is this public. All of this is unlisted, so only with the link he's able to watch this, because I'm not trying to make the store look bad. I'm not trying to make anybody look bad. I'm just trying to document everything exactly as it happened. So I'm just sharing with him everything that
what they're speaking, but what they're talking about me, I
And this was already when I was just trying to get my water bottle, I think, my bike. This is before the cop showed up. But when Danny's basically calling the cop.
He likes to laugh about everything. Look at him. Look, he's laughing. Look at he's laughing. You see, they both do that now. So this is perfect because I have nothing else to hide. I'm not gonna leave until he tells me that my business or anything right. So what I've already spoken to them both about. Underpaying us for sick pay, right? Danny, I'm recording every single thing because he has been retaliating against me. He's been harassing me, and he's basically choosing to lose business when there was nothing that has any reason for him to close the store except him wanting me to leave. Huh? What? He's been closing the door for no reason except to make me lose the time that I would have otherwise covered Joe for, right? Because Joe said he was going to be late, so I said, okay, I'm going to be here until Joe gets here, right? So why did he close the door? Why do you guys have the door closed? Why isn't he allowing me to help him make more money instead of losing money?
No, I don't want to close.
Huh? Okay, but why? Why?
What you mean?
What's the reason that he wants to close? What is the reason that he wants to close? Oh, for my time then. That's the reason why. Oh, so my time is closed.
What you mean?
What do you mean what I mean?
You already done your time.
Not when somebody's coming in late. So we're gonna lose business.
So instead of replying to the text message,
okay, so he's gonna lose business.
Covered,
no, but what's the real reason?
Late, don't worry about
because
it.
I'm already done. What does that mean? So that means that you guys are not trying to help me out then. So whenever I'm late, you're gonna have somebody else cover me, but whenever they're late, you're not gonna let me cover them?
They closed there.
What? Danny, when both sides were closed, when both sides of the street were closed, we still had business. We still had people coming in. Look how you smile. Look how he's smiling. Look, watch him too, because he shows a lot of this character too. You saw that little smile he showed? Why when we made money, Danny, when both sides were closed, I'm not gonna leave until he tells me that my tool is counted for and until somebody comes and covers the register for me.
See, instead of coming in himself,
I don't understand. They closed the store and claim that it's because something happened. It's not because of that. You heard him right now say very clearly, it's because of me, because my time is over, because my time is done. So in other words, he won't offer me any more time, but he wants to go ahead and offer other people time. Once somebody comes in to cover me, then I'll go ahead and leave. But now they're probably gonna call whoever they gotta call, whoever they want to call. I have nothing to hide, Danny. I'm not gonna leave until he counts my money, tells me that my money's good. Until my money is good and Joe gets here, then I'll switch. I have no reason to leave until then because we lost a lot of money just because he wants to close the door. Both sides of the street were closed, Danny, and we still made money. We still had customers. So why are you guys doing it? Yeah, so as soon as Joe gets here and as soon as I know that my money's counted for, as soon as Joe gets here and my money's counted for, then I'll switch. Until then, I'm not leaving, Danny, because I'm still doing work. I'm still trying to fill up. I'm still trying to address the issues that I talked to you about. I'm still trying to wonder why we charge bags as grocery and why don't we create a button? Why don't we make a button for it that says bags? No, Danny, we still got work to do. We got to fix this stuff. We got to fix the stuff. You guys aren't doing nothing to fix the business. Look how he laughs. See, that's what I'm talking about. He likes to laugh about everything. Look at him. Look, he's laughing. Look at he's laughing. You see, they both do that now. So this is perfect because I have nothing else to hide. I have nothing to hide, and they shamefully want to go ahead and behave this way. Disrespectful, and look how he behaves. Laughing. Keep laughing, Danny. That's okay. Do what you guys got to do. I'm not closing until, he tells me my money's good. Am I short or am I not? Count my money, tell me if I'm short. If I'm short, so you want to charge me tomorrow. Right? This is what I'm talking about.
So right there is basically when he was calling the police officer.
No, right?
And so anyway, so I just sent him all of this stuff, right? Including a series of text messages that I was basically explaining to him how, series of events throughout my employment here have always been, and I want to make him aware about it. It's like he's always been doing shit that was kind of like unhelpful to me. He cut my hours when I went to hospital, didn't tell me that we had sick pay. I explained to him that I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to be a victim either. I'm just trying to address things. I even explained to him how like all of this that he's doing right there, calling the cops for trying to raise business concerns. But when the shit happened with Brittany, he didn't do anything about it.
Look at this. Look at this shit. Manipulation 101.
When she's over here basically after he put in her head stuff about me that she started disrespecting me and not really treating me with any respect. And all of this stuff, she's already knocking up my bike. She's over here letting them drink in public.
I don't want to be friends with her.
He's not doing anything. He's
and
not
look at that
nobody.
Shit. That's
not
crazy.
Nobody.
Oh, do all that disrespectful shit. Keep doing all that shit. Kick my bike again.
Right, and so then even when I went to go address him, like it's crazy. Oh yeah, there's a show what they did to my bike.
This shit. No, check this out. Watch how my boss does this shit. Can you watch it for a second?
When I had
Baby
Solavino,
watch this shit.
Calling me a bum, being all disrespectful when I just getting off of work, trying to talk to her, but she's being all rude and then.
That ain't right, Danny. You have not called the police on any of this shit, huh? What? You haven't called the police on her? Have you seen?
He called the police on me. This is way back when. This is
everything that Brittany's doing right now to me. Kicking my bike, knocking everything over, and you're still standing here defending her, not doing anything about it. You don't kick them out? You don't kick them out?
Why is she making the complaint to me?
Why? Because you're the owner of this place.
What?
And you're letting that happen to me. Está bien, está bien.
And then the coworker told me that they're fucking with my bike still.
Look at that shit. Look at that shit. They want to continue fucking. She keeps fucking my bike. You're not gonna call the police on her? You're not gonna call the police on her?
You'll call police on me for raising concern.
She's damaging your employee's property, and you're not calling police on her. Why, Danny? Why have you always defended her from day one? I told you that she was a problem, and you keep defending her. Why?
And then all of a sudden,
you keep defending Brittany. Why is she still here? After everything she's doing right now, she's breaking my bike. She broke the food that you let me get. Why do you continue defending her? And by the way, I'm recording this shit live because I don't understand why you continue to defend her. No, Danny, why? I'm your employee and you defend your customer who's harassing me. Oh my God, what? Why do you favor her? What has she done for you? Why do you continue to defend her? Call the police and kick them out. They're loitering. They're drinking in public. They're loitering. Why do you keep defending them? Why don't you defend your employee who has done nothing to them? And I'm the one they're breaking my bike. They're knocking my shit over. Why haven't you done anything to help me? You enjoy this shit. You enjoy. I did not argue with her. No, she started this shit, Danny. Like I told you from the day one. When I told you from day one that she was the problem, and you continue to let her to give her service. You encourage her by letting her drink. You sell her alcohol, don't you? And you know how she gets when she drinks alcohol. So why do we keep selling her alcohol?
I'm not selling.
I'm not selling right now.
Call the police, Danny. Call the police.
What?
Why not?
Huh?
Why not? They're breaking my bike. And you're just watching it. You're just standing by on all this shit. That's harassment, remember? That's passive harassment. What you're doing is passive harassment. You're allowing all of this to happen because you don't care. That's fucked up,
You hear my
Danny.
alarm? That's my bike alarm
That's
right
fucked
there
up.
going off.
That's really fucked up.
So they're still fucking with my bike.
That is crazy, y'all. I get back to my job, right? And they're fucking on my shit. And look at her. She thinks she's happy. She's proud of that shit. Look at that. Look at that shit. You don't worry about it. You're good. I'm calling police on your bitch ass. Yep, that's what I do. That's what I have to do. Yeah. And don't worry, this place is gonna get a case on that shit too for passive harassment. Yeah, because he likes you too. Daddy likes it. No, I'm not obsessed with you, that girl. I'm not. Trust me, I'm not.
It sort of kind of was and sort of kind of am, I think. But it's not obsession with her. I think it was just an obsession with the fact that she was doing really well when we first started talking. And then all of a sudden, she just started being disrespectful. But it was only after she had said to love me and offered me to move in with her and all this stuff, but that I just kind of had to respect and out of taking things slow, I denied and, rejected, including the love part, where I told her, like, I appreciate that, but I'm not, I'm not the type to play with those words. I don't really say them unless I mean them, and I don't want to just say that I love, somebody without showing it first, because I think that it's more important to show through action before saying it. And that's what I was trying to show her, that, like, I appreciated it, but I also wanted to know if it was true when she said it, because the way she said it to me was kind of like, I don't really care, so long as you don't change, I'm gonna love you. And then she starts behaving certain ways that, like, didn't make me feel loved. So she was always kind of like, back and forth with her feelings. And so I basically just trying to, I know that has nothing to do with this particular case, but this is why I thank her, because if it wasn't for her going off this way with me, I would have never caught that moment with Danny where I realized my frustrations and anything that I was going through, it was never with her either. Ultimately, it was always with him, because he was talking negatively about me. And she did tell me in the beginning when we were cool talking about somebody at work doesn't like me, and I was thinking it was my coworkers. I was thinking that it was somebody else, because Danny and I know each other from way back, and I didn't think that he would be the one until he started basically, or better yet, until she said something about me that only he knew or had information about. So for her to use that information about me, it's like, who did you talk to? Because the only person that knows that is Danny. And then, when I'm addressing other issues about, hours and all that, this was Danny pretending to care.
Get along with him. Why start a conversation like that? Like they're trying to be careful with what they tell me, but they want to tell me something. Super loyal, super hardworking, everything that I've been doing to try to express my loyalty, continue to disrespect me. That's when I had my issue with her, and why I kept telling her that, everything that she was saying to me was a lie, and if she couldn't respect me, at least at my place of work, then everything that she said about loving me, about wanting me to help me and allow me to move in with her, and all of these things that she said in the beginning, everything was going really well. But then something happened, and somebody started speaking about me negatively behind my back again, and I knew because she told me while she was drunk, and I felt it at the same time too, because again, the same individual that was later on brought up to my attention
when they were trying to tell me that, hey, I don't know, man, that question he asked me, like he asked us if we had a problem with you, and we said, nah.
I thought it was Joe at this point, but it wasn't Joe.
But the question
it was Danny the whole time. I'm over here thinking it was Joe.
Enough to make them feel like you guys were trying to fire me, or you guys were looking for reasons to fire me.
Because people kept asking me if I got along with Joe.
And all of that, to me, was like, oh, well, how interesting is that? What a coincidence. Because not long before all of these questions and all of these little incidents that were happening, they're not that serious, but just the fact that they were happening was very similar to when me and Danny were having an issue, and Danny was trying to fire me. So is Danny behind all of this, or is it Joe, or is it something that I'm doing wrong? Because Danny, I don't think that I'm doing anything wrong. I'm doing everything in my power to do hard work, to be respectful, to listen, to learn, and yet I'm being told or questioned about, do I get along with people here? I thought I did. I honestly thought I got along with everybody here, but clearly they don't get along with me. No, it's not my thinking. It's the questions that people have asked about me. It's the things that have been said behind my back about me. And clearly, it's the fact that if somebody was talking bad about you, Danny, even like I've tried to show you in front of you at least, I'm going to be 100% honest with people, and also I'm going to try to defend you if I can possible, you know? But still, at least show that respect that, like, hey, if someone's going to be talking anything negative about you behind your back, I'm going to tell them, why don't you tell Danny? Why are you telling me this? Don't tell me, tell him, you know? Or, hey, don't talk about Danny like that. You know how much Danny does for people? You know how much he helps people, and you know how much he's done for me? And I'll tell them that too. But when you were doing the things that you were doing that were affecting my life negatively, I had to be honest. And you know what? Danny has two personalities. Sometimes Danny's really kind and really cool when it's convenient for him. But sometimes Danny does things that Danny affects other people's lives, you know? And to me, it's very hurtful that I've done my best to try to be honest with you guys, to be hardworking, to be loyal, and I'm still being talked to in a negative tone, treated like I'm not really.
This was uploaded 2 months ago, but
and I have to
in reality, this happened way longer before that.
I don't want to be here forever, but I know that I need this right now to be able to get out of here. You know what I mean? Otherwise, my life would be in a more difficult situation. When you guys were offering me the suite upstairs, right, and everything, it was only because I told you, because the rule was I couldn't have nobody over. You kept telling me that, and I understood that, right? And I was like, damn, man, the only issue now, like, it's like that room and that space would be such a great place to rent and be able to maybe, like, you know, stay and sleep in for, you know, for the most important part of it. But if I was allowed to run my own business upstairs like that, then I would be able to make extra money to get out of there faster and sooner the same way. But it was almost like the moment that I told you about my idea to run my own business up there is the moment that you guys pulled that offer off the table, and it no longer became a thing that was possible. I know that to you guys it's not that serious, it doesn't make any sense, or you guys probably think that I'm crazy by explaining this to you guys, but just know, Danny, that has a big part of why everything else has happened in a way too, because I wouldn't have been in these situations had this help or this support or these options, these opportunities been able to available to me, but they're not. They just got taken away. And I've been grateful, Danny, for everything that you've done for me. I'm super grateful. I think. But what I'm really trying to understand and I'm having a hard time right now with is this respect that you're giving me now, is it sincere? Is it honest? Or is it just another, oh, let's just wait till he messes up, or let's just wait till his life gets a little bit worse, so that way he doesn't show up to work because of everything else that's happening in his life. If you guys knew half the things that I've had to do or even been going through, Danny, I mean, shit, dude, like the thing catching on fire, and I still
he knows I'm recording
find a way to sleep there, even though I was scared and I was staying up all night because I was afraid that something's gonna happen to me, and I'm still concerned that something might happen.
After somebody tried to kill me,
but I'm doing everything
instead of letting me go to the hospital, they basically
with a positive attitude. I don't take it out on anybody. I don't disrespect you just because of what's happening in my life, the way that sometimes I feel everyone else or you specifically have maybe taken things out on me because.
So anyway, all of this can be found on the unlisted playlist that I have. And that I was just trying to let them know, like, look, man, all of this is crazy shit. I've been going through all of this along with other stuff such as this, you know, like when I had my homeless camp removed by Caltrans and all this crazy stuff that I'm going through just simply
people that are trying to get by are making a mess.
They destroyed my camp, even though my camp was really nice.
Yeah, this is what they do when they clean up, apparently. This is, according to them, this is their cleanup.
And that's the motherfucker that tried to kill me.
I was staying here.
That's the guy that tried
I was camping here for a limited time while I was looking and waiting for housing. They basically, you know, so came and gave me a warning. They told me they were going to give me an extra day to try to clean my shit out.
Yeah,
and they basically lied because they, you know, I explained to them that I had to go to work. Oh, look, I even left this note for them. It's funny that this is still here.
But I even left this note to them. I explained to them August 22nd, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. Look, I even left this note for them. It's funny that this is still here. But I even left this note to them. I explained to them August 22nd, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. I will be at work from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Please allow me to rent a car later and move my most important things, items, clothes, etc. this afternoon. Any questions, call me. Sorry, humbly. And I gave him my phone number. Please and thank you. They fucking obviously didn't give a fuck about that because everything else, they supposedly cleaned it, right? This is what happens when the community around here likes to complain that people.
And so the crazy part about it is that all of this stuff is all just, you know, recorded and documented as I have it. But I was showing all of Danny, I'm like, you look, man, despite all of that, I was trying to work hard. I'm trying to do my best by my customers, by my, you know, by my colleagues and everybody. And so everything has led up to this point. I'm just trying to do what I think is right and what I think is fair. And I even shared with them that I'm like, you know, the only time I post stuff like this is because, you know, something's affecting me. Like I currently, right, like I'm you know, in need of my final check. I went to my mailbox. They showed me receipts that they were mailing it, but I never received it in the mail. And so then he might have tried to get me somebody to serve me so that way I could sign it probably, or pressure me to sign it. But I didn't want to sign anything, so I just, you know, didn't tell that person who had a package for me, but didn't specify what or who or what sent him. I didn't deny talking to him at all or giving him anything. But this was earlier today. And so anyway, so I just told him, you know, I lost my cat, you know, and I did everything, you know, trying to get us paid better and all that. I was like, consider everything fairly, you know, because he's still making his decision according to him, right? And so I told him, I was like, and I sent him the playlist so he could look at back, you know, he could look back at it if he needed to. I was like, at least give you the same respect that I've given you, you know, because not the respect that you've given me, because clearly you haven't given me respect. And then when he told me about, you know, it was payday, because I wasn't sure if I should go to the store, I was like, oh, maybe I should have him mail my check because I don't have to show up at the store. And then he tries to have me arrested for trespassing again or some shit. So then I'm like, nah, let me just, you know, ask him to send it to him by mail, which he said yes to. But then I was like thinking about it, and somebody called me and said that we're willing to pick it up for me. So then I was like, oh, you know what, maybe that'd be faster, that way I don't have to wait for it in the mail, which, you know, caused me to get it later. So I tried to do that, and he said, oh, we don't give it to third people or whatever. Or third parties, sorry. So I'm like, all right, and then he told me that I can stop by and get it in person, right? So then he says, for clarity and record-keeping purposes, the company has preferred option for you to pick up my paycheck. He did not say I was terminated yet. He's like, however, because your paycheck cannot be delayed, if we do not receive a confirmation by 12 p.m., you would personally have to pick it up. Or sorry, we're going to proceed with the mailing it, right? So I was like, nah, don't worry about it, I'll get it in person. I was like, don't trip, I'll go there. I was going to the mental health at that point. Because of everything that happened, you know, like I started having like these little nightmares where I'm getting hit by police, or I'm getting kind of like, you know, somebody, you know, it's just like these little nightmares, like sleep paralysis, but with police beating me up and all this crazy stuff. So I just kind of want to get that checked out. Along with everything else I've been going through, self-medicating and using, you know, to fucking feel motivated or even driven to do anything. And so, you know, because all that, the phone calls you heard earlier, I know it's incriminating or embarrassing probably, but I have nothing to hide, and it's all true. I have my own truth, and it sucks, but you know, I'm not proud of it at all. And I've been trying to, you know, I've been cutting back in my own ways, and so that's why, you know, everything happened the way it did. But anyway, it does sometimes maybe make me a little bit more argumentative, maybe because I'm like really passionate about what's going on, and it kind of gives me that energy that otherwise I wouldn't have, because if not, I would just be sleeping all day and not caring about anything. So then, you know, I just want him to confirm to me that he wouldn't call the cops, and so that's why he basically had to, because I wanted it in writing before he tried to embarrass me again. And then I told him about my backpack, trying to get, you know, told him, you know, he's trying to over here tell me that I'm terminated. I'm like, look, I would accept the termination, but the thing is, you're terminating me for a reason that's not true. You said that it was because I didn't show up to the store, or that because I didn't leave the store. But the thing is, I couldn't leave because I was covering somebody, and it's all documented. So I don't understand why he was trying to tell me that was the reason, or his best reason, and especially because he didn't really write it. And then after everything, I lost my backpack, which contained a bunch of stuff that added up to like $3,000 plus, some SSD drives and other documents, that my W-2, my passport, like all this crazy stuff, right? So basically, I I asked him, why. Again, I was trying to be like, Daniel Park, what is the exact reason you terminated me, right? Why did you call the police and say I was trespassing? Why did you tell me your dad was getting a lawyer, like trying to threaten me when after I went to go pick up my check? I said, was that meant to threaten me? It is my termination for recording and asking about my pay and hours and pointing out problems to the store. I was like, if you can't give me that in writing, then it's basically, if not, it's basically retaliation. And or why it's not, like, basically give me in writing, and why this doesn't seem like retaliation, basically, right? So I was like, I expect you to keep your word and pay me at my 40 hours a week until you give me the actual real reason, because it wasn't all the things. It wasn't because I didn't come or didn't leave the store, as I had every right to be there. And the text message, if he really wanted me not to show up, in this text message, he would have said to me, don't worry, we got it, you don't have to stay. When I told him, I'll copy that, I got you, right? And then instead, they didn't say anything, right? And then I sent them the I'm ready to work stuff and nothing. So then I think the following day or later on that day, I just wanted to confirm to everybody what it was about. Why I felt like it was really about. I felt it was really about because I was trying to send them this information. And so I wanted to make sure that they got this, so that they knew that even if I'm gone, they could still fight for their rights and get their right amount of pay because they already paid us the sick pay at the wrong minimum wage, which is another thing that I was raising an issue about, and I was ignored. And so, but they didn't say nothing. They didn't say, oh, don't pick it up, or don't no coverage, Joe. They didn't say nothing like that, right? So basically, all of this stuff is going on, and I'm trying to text him, and he chooses not to reply. And I sent him a PDF with all the stuff that was in that backpack, and I told him, he said that he just sent the checks through the mail instead. And I told him, well, shit, that's fine, but I'm not going to accept it as final pay or sign it to say that you're terminating me. I'm accepting it as partial pay because I don't understand why it's reading the way that it is. Plus, I'm pretty sure one of the checks is going to be denied, given how he wrote it. I was like, and he said basically, as previously communicated, employment ended following your refusal to comply with requests to leave the work premises and subsequent involvement of law enforcement. You were informed of the termination at that time. The company has prepared to provide your final paycheck and EDD materials because final wages cannot be withheld. And we are mailing your final paycheck today. Copies of the checks and tracking information are enclosed. I never got it, even though I already went to check my mail. I was like, EDD information provided. I haven't seen that either. I was like, the company disagrees with your characterization of events and denies that your termination was retaliatory or unlawful, which it was. I was like, at the same time, we do not believe that continued back and forth by text will be productive. If you believe that you are underpaid or damages, please provide a written list of identifying specific amounts, the basis of each claim, including alleged wage discrepancies, acceptance of the final check, and does not waive rights. Paycheck does not waive any rights. Upon of that information, the company is willing to review it and determine whether this matter can be resolved without further escalation, right? Which to me was, okay, then reinstate me. I was like, any request, personnel or payroll records will be handled in accordance with California law. Written requests for specific records, specific records sought, and sincerely, and he didn't write nothing. Sincerely, who? I think he was copying and pasting like some of the stuff I be doing sometimes, just getting advice on how to translate it or whatever. So anyway, and so basically I'm like, okay, as explained before, Daddy, without anything clear in writing as to why exactly you have determined to terminate me or why you call police on me, I do not accept any termination, and I am not going off and I'm going off your words that you said I would be on leave until you gave me a decision, meaning an explanation, and that I expect to be paid every day until you provide that. Actually, as he basically stated, right, if I have my regular 40 hours a week. Why? Because I understand this is me sending them the same thing that I had already sent him, basically, but I was explaining to him, like, okay, let me just confirm. And he didn't deny this, right? About making sure I was confirming what he told me, which was a 40-hour weekly schedule, which he sent me about. And then I kept going and putting pressure on him. And I said, to clarify my previous message, I am accepting the checks only as partial payment for the hours I actually worked. I do not agree with your note that these are for non-working days, nor do I accept the final settlement of what I am owed. Under California law, Labor Code, Section 206, you must release all undisputed wages, which is paying me at the right minimum wage, requiring me to sign a release. without requiring me to sign a release, which is what he was trying to do by me signing off in person. Furthermore, if you have not addressed the return of my backpack, passport, and it was $1,000 and $800 of that I had already kind of sent him a PDF about, I think it was somewhere, or I sent it to him after. But basically, I'm over here trying to address all of this stuff and tell him, like, okay, as this occurred on your premises and during a removal that you directed, I am requesting that you contact Officer Kang immediately to locate and return my stuff. And if he cannot be found, I will be seeking full reimbursement, as these losses are part of my legal claim. And it was basically after he escalated it, I was like, I am in the receipt of your message, because then I was replying to him saying what he said about the EDD and all that. I was like, unauthorized termination reason. I was like, your claim was that your claim that I was removed for refusing to leave, or that I was terminated for refusing to leave, are factually incorrect. I have documented text message, which is a text message about Joe, providing that I was on the premises to cover your coworker Joe, who was in me 45 minutes late. My presence was there for the benefit of the store and to communicate to him, and recording specifically the whole things that was happening as I started feeling the retaliation. Under clear status of leave, I am going off your written commitment from January 31st, where he stated that he would be placing me on leave until a decision would be made, and he would pay me at my 40 hours a week. I was like, since you have not provided a truthful or clear reason why of my discharge, nor explanation why you called the police under false pretenses, I expect you to honor your word and pay me at my regular rate until a valid decision is reached, right? And so then I put partial payment notice. I am accepting this check, this partial payment, again, just trying to reiterate. And then once I reject the one that says final pay or whatever, because I didn't think that it was right to say final pay and for me to sign it, just for him to be like, oh, it's final, you're signing off your final pay. So then California Labor Code 206 must release anything that is concluding the stuff that they owe us, because they charged us, they paid us at less than the minimum wage, which I brought up to him earlier as well. I was like, I'm holding the company liable for these losses under Labor Code 2802, and I will continue to document all his actions and report this to the Civil Rights Department and Labor Commissioner, because there's the proof that I told him he said it's gonna be late. I said, I got him, copy that, I'll cover you, right? It's concerted activity, basically. I'm over here, you covering my coworker and all that. I was like, this is a formal rejection of termination reasons and demand a truthful notice. I would appreciate a reply or some indication that this important and lengthy message has been received. And then I sent him, furthermore, the all my receipts of the stuff that was in the backpack. So basically, all this stuff that I had in the backpack, that added up to the amount that it added up to, basically, to let them know, like, look, bro, all of this stuff was stuff that I clearly purchased and that I paid for, and that you're basically choosing and refusing, to pay for it. And so all the receipts, everything's documented, everything is accounted for, everything that I spent on, it's all stuff that I purchased, basically. And so for him to claim whatever he's claiming, I don't believe it. I don't appreciate it. And the fact that I've been doing my best to make everything extremely clear. There's the backpack right there, but I don't know why I printed out a negative in the photos, but that was weird. And then started printing out normal. I mean, it's weird. Basically, all of this stuff, right, that was in that backpack, including the drives and everything that I was able to add or find. I was like, there it goes again. I was like, I have not gotten any reply, but I do see that he read my messages, because I saw that he read them. I was like, attached our PDF receipt to most of the items that were in that backpack that went missing when you called Kang personally to have me arrested. These are only the Amazon orders, not the other stuff that I purchased elsewhere. So I'm still gathering receipts for that, right? And so then basically I gave him just kind of like the total of all that stuff that I'm missing. I was like, to your continued silence and undocumented as refusal to cooperate and in return my personal property and failure to honor your written commitment regarding my wages, be advised that the following evidence of pretext. I have already provided you the document proof that you stated the reason why termination was false. By law, your failure to provide any truthful reason for discharge is a violation of Labor Code 201. Daily accruing penalties because final wages you mailed were incorrect amount and based on false reason. You are currently accruing waiting time penalties of 1 or full day's pay and all that illegal mumbo jumbo that I had to copy and paste, because I was also kind of in panic at this moment. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. But then I'm like, theft and conversion, since the missing property includes a passport, federal law matter. My bag has not been located, as I showed earlier with the phone calls to them. I'm basically not asking for any special favors. I'm just demanding that my stuff be returned to me because it all basically got taken away because he called, not because of anything that was really happening. I was like, so please, if you called Officer Kang like it was a personal favor to remove me from covering Joe, who was going to be 45 minutes late, and after raising California law protected work issues, I hope that you can at least call him and ask him to return my property. The police officer, right? This is in question. The bag in question, I put that's what they look like basically. So please respond. The urban camo that I was talking about. I was like, also I need another W-2 because it's missing and all that, right? And so then he starts trying to tell me about, we're willing to explore a global resolution and any current potential claims that you may assert. Please know that the amount you would be willing to accept are all such claims. If you are able to reach an agreement in principle, we have counsel prepared and draft a settlement agreement for your review. And then he tried, and I told him, like, yo, bro, like, I acknowledge your request for global resolution, but before we address anything, like, I need to know that you can try to get my bag, or at least show some good faith in trying to get my bag back. And he didn't, right? Like, he hasn't tried to. And I explained to him the quantities and the amount and everything. So then he goes and continues. The company denies any responsibility for the alleged loss of your personal property. The company did not take your possessions of your belongings. Any issues relating to police conduct property matter must be addressed directly with the police department. Officer Kang was one of multiple officers present and was not personally known to me or prior to that date, which is a lie right there. That's a lie because he called him. I was like, with respect to the wages, you continue to assert additional amounts owed, and we have not identified any specific unpaid wage amount or provided calculations. Despite repeated requests without a concrete figure and legal basis, the company is unable to evaluate your claim. I was like, the company does not intend to engage ongoing narrative that exchanges by text, whatever, right? I was like, if you wish to pursue a global resolution of all claims, including the alleged property-related issues, though we are not responsible legally, you may submit a written settlement demand stating amount, whatever. The company does not intend to resolve matters on a piecemeal basis. Please provide the total amount to resolve or whatever, right? And so I played him this.
Trying to record this phone call because I'm trying to understand who I'm speaking to and where my property might be. I know I just called.
It was a phone call that I sent earlier, right? I was trying to send him that, look, bro, I tried to get my stuff back, and I even sent him the text transcript as well to show that I never got my stuff. And basically, that's the text transcript, right, of the conversation that they were not returning my property, right? So then, and again, the least I kept telling him, the least you could do is try to get my stuff, because you're not even trying to call him like you did earlier. And then he starts to deny knowing him personally or whatever, when he did obviously call him by himself. That's why he was by himself in the beginning. I was like, upon receipt of your settlement demand, if the amount is reasonable and acceptable, our counsel prepared to send a draft letter agreement for review. Please note that this will be a global settlement and not a piecemeal resolution. I wonder what that is, piecemeal. Hey Google. Oh, let's see what they say.